Hi everyone, it's Shar. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. I am so ready for Summerween. Summerween is a readathon hosted by Gabby from Gabby Reads and Olivia from Olivia Reads a Latte. They've been doing this every summer for a couple of years, I think, and it's always such a fun time. As a spooky gal myself, I fucking love Halloween, and I love bringing Halloween to July to show you. I am decked out in my Summerween merch. You just cannot see it because your girl is fucking short and I like this angle. I have set my Summerween TBR. I know it's not until the first week of July. Summerween this year is taking place from July 7th to July 13th, I believe. I have all the information in the description box of this video. I'm like loosely following the prompts for Summerween, but let me tell you what those prompts are. Number one is read a book in the dark, read a book with orange or black on the cover, read a manga or graphic novel or a novella in general, and something else that I totally forgot. To be honest, I'm not going to be following the prompts super closely this Summerween. I am just going to be reading it. This is my second Summerween on this channel, and that's so freaking exciting. But without further ado, let me tell you about the books. For a week-long readathon, I have 6 books that I'm hoping to read, and some of these books are really fucking long, but let me start with the books on my physical TBR. First book, this book has so much glare, so I apologize. The first book that I'm hoping to read during Summerween is Daphne by Josh Malerman. This is the story of this girl who is on the basketball team in her high school, I believe, and there's this legend that is told on the basketball team and in her school in general about this girl named Daphne who like disappeared or got murdered or something, and you're not supposed to think about Daphne or speak about Daphne. I believe this speaks a lot about OCD and anxiety, so I know I have to be in the right mindset to read about this as someone who struggles with mild OCD and an anxiety disorder, but I'm very excited to read this. I really love The House Beneath the Lake, or The House at the Bottom of the Lake by Josh Malerman, and I'm excited to read my second book by this author. My second book that I'm hoping to get to for Summerween, which I am not planning to have fit any specific prompt, is The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. I've read a lot of Ruth Ware's backlist at this point. I have a couple of books left, and this is one of them. The Turn of the Key got a lot of hype a couple of years ago, and if you don't know what this is about, The Turn of the Key is the story of this woman who is in jail when the story starts, and she's writing to a lawyer, and the reason she's in prison is that she's been accused of murdering the 2 children she was nannying for. This is kind of a retelling of Turn of the Screw, I think. That's all I know about this book. This woman is nannying. The family's really fucking weird. They have a poison garden and the kids have died, and our female character here is being blamed for it. So she's writing a letter to the lawyer, but we're also getting her past flashbacks to what it was like to work in the house. Do you love how I haven't removed the sticker of this book? Either of them. This is The Chalk Man by CJ Tudor. You can't see that because the sticker is covering it. Let me actually remove that. She do be stuck. Anyway, so The Chalk Man by CJ Tudor is a book I don't know a lot about, but I recently read The Burning Girls by CJ Tudor, and I'm currently reading The Drift by CJ Tudor, and this is one of her backlist books that I'm trying to read. So in The Chalk Man, we are following this group of friends in the 80s, and the way they kind of talk to each other, their code is like little stick figures of chalk men. Until one day they're teenagers, and one of the friends in this group sees the little figure, this little chalk figure on a tree somewhere that leads him to the dismembered body of a teenage girl, and that sparks everything. Years and years and years later, he receives a letter with the same chalk figure he saw as a teenager that led him to that girl's body, and this is a story of him trying to figure it out. I just really love CJ Tudor's writing, and one of the prompts for Summerween is reading a book with orange or black on the cover. This book, as you can see, is primarily orange, so this is the book that I'm going to be reading for Summerween. Another prompt for Summerween, which I think I forgot to mention, is reading a thriller. So I'm reading The Island by Adrienne McKinney. Another sticker I have not removed. This book is about this woman who's recently gotten married, and her new husband has 2 young kids, and she's really trying to find her place there as their stepmother and really trying to adjust to this family. The father has this great idea, I think, that he's like, let's go on vacation, it will bond us together. So they go to Australia, and when they're in Australia, they get the opportunity to take a private tour of this island. However, the people on the island really don't want them there, and they're being hunted by the people on this island. It becomes a a race for survival and this woman trying to save her family and trying to save her 2 new stepchildren. As you can see from the cover, dad figure disappears at some point. I know that Ashley from Ashley's Little Library really enjoyed this book. I'm expecting it to be a super fast-paced, and saying fun for this kind of book seems weird, but I hope you know what I mean when I say a fun thriller. And the last physical book on my TBR that I'm going to be reading for Summerween is Runtime by Catherine Ryan Howard. This book does not fit any of the prompts, but this book is about this woman. She is an actor and she is trying to, I guess, find her break, right? She's been struggling and she gets the opportunity to become the lead in this horror movie. The entire cast and the entire crew drop out of the film at the last minute, so of course that's raising red flags, but she's desperate. She's like, I'm gonna go and do it. And this horror movie that they're filming is based on a book. And the thing is that when she goes on set, it's very meta because the things that are happening in the movie are happening in her real life, and the things that happen in the book are happening in the movie. That's what I understand. And this woman is the only woman on the entire set, and she's of course left wondering what made it so the entire cast and crew of the movie as it was originally being shot. I'm excited to read this. I'm a little bit nervous because, if you can see that, the font is pretty small. It's a lot of words per page, and I can't find the audiobook for this anywhere, which sucks because I want to listen to the audiobook for it, but that's okay. I'll be reading the physical book. And the very last book that I'll be reading for Summerween, at this point I'm gonna have to read a book a day just to read through this entire TBR, is Darcy Coates' new book. I don't remember the title of this book, but the cover is right here so you can see the title. But I didn't even know Darcy Coates was coming out with a new book, and when I found out, I felt like such a fake fan. And to be honest with you, the reason why I didn't know was because Darcy Coates removed all of her books from Kindle Unlimited, and often Kindle Unlimited on my homepage on my Kindle would tell me that a new Darcy Coates book was coming out. But anyway, I just love Darcy Coates books. Normally Darcy Coates, if you don't know, writes what I would call like cozy horror, and a lot of people would. They're scary books. They're often about ghosts, but there's some kind of cozy element to it and some kind of happy ending. I've heard this book is different though, and that it leans a little bit more thriller, and Darcy is not leaning fully into the coziness of it. It's definitely supposed to be spooky. The basic premise, from what I know, it's these people who go up on a ski trip, and it's leaning thriller, so I'm assuming something crazy happens and it becomes a race to save their lives. Don't know. Quite honestly, I don't really fucking need to know. If Darcy Coates wrote it, I'm probably going to pick it up. And that is my plan for Summerween. I think that will be the book that I read in the dark. I'm gonna tell you something. The first Summerween I ever did for read a book in the dark, I read a ghost story in the bathroom, door locked, no lights, just the little candle light in my bathtub for the spook factor. And I might recreate that this time around. But that's it. If you have read any of these books, please let me know which ones you think I should prioritize, which ones should be at the top of my list, because quite honestly, there's very little way that I'll be able to read all of these books, so your opinion helps me with that. And also, if you're participating in Summerween this year, let me know what you're going to be reading, because I'm so curious. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you would like to, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!